socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Good morning and welcome to Atlantic Television Network right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. It's going to be another amazing time with Atlantic Blowout right here on the show. And Atlantic Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network that features chit-chatting and conversations on special interest topics on news events and stories through correspondence reports, experts' opinion and stakeholders' analysis. A quick look at the stories we'll be taking today. We'll go to Lagos State, where police identify officer strangling driver in Barobi. And in Plateau State, NCTC demands collective action to end terrorism. And take a look at the economy of the country. Tinubu should tell Nigerians the truth. This was stated by Bode George. And on illegal refining, 600,000 liters of crude destroyed since January, NSCDC. And we'll look at cooking gas. There 40.5% price increase in 1 year, stated by MBS. And on estimated billing, Southeast customers threaten strike. We'll go on a short time out, and when we return, we'll introduce our guest and delve straight into the stories. Please stay with us.
Get ready! As Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024
at La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Room Calagbo off Waterlines, Basta, Port Harcourt.
On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m. Inter-school march past competition,
dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689
and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by
Excel International Magazine, Nigeria Brewery, Indomie, The Scented Room,
Terrenos Limited,
the Last Mall Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Harcourt, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Ball Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water.
Remember that every child is unique. See you there. This event is managed by Pace Expressions Arts.
Special guest appearance, Hilda Dokumo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Corruption not in my country.
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road wey you dey see so, e no guarantee safe delivery oh.
We just dey vote for government, but we no get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usa, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, The prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy where they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? We would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. Now just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You know electrician?
You're electrician.
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't you said you don't they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And do something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadehi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human
on the point of order.
Honourable
Welcome back. Let's delve straight to it. Our guest with us in the studio today is Dandy Loveday, and he's a public affairs analyst. A pleasure having you on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How's the journey down here?
Very good. Well, thank God I'm here now.
All right, let's go straight to our very first story. The Lagos State Police Command has identified a policeman filmed in a viral video strangling an Uber driver who was in motion on a highway. The command spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, disclosed this in a post on X.com on Thursday, stating that the officer serves in the Mosafejo division of the command. We would appreciate the testimony of the driver to enable us to take further necessary actions. And he further condemned both the driver and the policeman for behaving in a reckless manner, as he faulted the driver for adopting the officer. He also added both men obviously behaved in a reckless manner. But let us start from the beginning. Why choose to adopt a policeman despite his dangerous method of attempting to stop you? You remained hell-bent on taking him away against his wish. Earlier reports stated that the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi called for an investigation into the viral video, which showed the police officer holding the driver's neck while a lady in the car screamed for help. I saw this video and I was at the edge of my seat till the end of the video because I was hoping and nothing bad happened. If you listen to the way she was screaming, you can already guess that this video is not going to end up well, right? But now the officer has been identified. But when I delved into the comment section, I noticed that a lot of people were supporting the officer, no, supporting the driver now, saying, some people were even saying she should have done something to the officer and all of that. But let's get your thoughts on the story.
For the issue of getting this video, maybe was it through CCTV or somebody?
No, the lady at the passenger seat, she filmed what was happening, and she was screaming.
No, that's part of the issue in Nigeria. Something is happening. If you just pick your camera and then you're trying to film what's happening. Why not you try to rescue? But that's by the way.
How? Okay, no, it's not by the way. How would she have rescued herself in such a moving vehicle was on the highway, right? It was on high speed, according to what we saw in the video, and she was on passenger seat and she was screaming. She even opened the door and she was screaming outside and nobody did anything.
She opened the door.
Yes.
Her video camera was still on.
Yes, of course. She already started videoing before she opened the door.
I don't know. I'm trying to picture the scenario where something of this nature is happening. All you could do is just bring out your camera. You're screaming. You're looking for help. Yeah, and it's not even like she went live. Maybe probably after the whole incident, she now had to post.
I don't know if she actually went live.
But that's by the way. If I look at what happened there, the scenario there isn't. It's not something we should be seeing in a country like this. First, let me get to the policeman. How did he jump into the vehicle? probably trying to get the driver to do one or two, and then he had to just jump into a vehicle, a moving vehicle, and all that, and then the driver zoomed off. Two wrongs here. You wanted to get something and all that, just you, the policeman not armed, you jumped into a vehicle. What if there was a dog inside that vehicle and all that? So when he saw that at the time, probably from that video, when he saw that this man was taking me to like this, there was this video we watched, they carry me go away and all. So he now had to start rescuing himself.
Yes,
But probably,
that's
who
what
knows?
happened.
I didn't watch the video. Who knows me? He may have been screaming, said, leave me, drop me, or thereabouts. And at that stage, the policeman was also trying to save his own life. Because you can't also trust the driver. Where are you taking the policeman to? And you don't even care he's putting on uniform. And that's even an assault. For his office, for the sake of that uniform. You shouldn't even, why do you zoom off? You carry a policeman and you're taking him to where he can't even tell. At the time, he had no option than to save his life. And in that case, anything could have happened because probably the driver was on the steering and then they could be struggling.
They were struggling.
Good. The woman's life was already in danger.
Exactly why she brought out her phone.
And while your life was in danger, all you could do was just to bring out your phone.
Do you know why I had to cut you when you stated this? Because going through the comment section, I realized that lots of Nigerians were saying the same thing. You are in such a situation, and the first thing you could think of, or one of the first things you could think of, was bringing out your phone and taking a video. But imagine she did not take that video. We wouldn't have known that this happened. A lot of things, incidents have taken place, and we don't know. Thank God for social media. Social media has been able to expose a lot of things. So why should we default, or why should we say what she did was, why should we even fault what she did, bringing out her phone? I think that should be encouraged, don't you think?
Well, while we encourage her, we should also advise people to be careful. What if she had died?
While videoing.
Well, yeah, will you bring her the video? How would the video come out?
Had nothing to do with that.
No, but for instance, the point here is the woman should have tried to save her life.
Okay, maybe you should tell us how she should have done that, because we saw how she tried to.
Whatever.
She was screaming, she opened the door. And then another angle that people said we should look at is the fact that she opened the door and was screaming and nobody stopped.
No, you know why sometimes we condemn this issue of people trying to film what's going on. You see somebody that just had an accident, instead of rescuing the person, you're bringing out your phone and all that. So maybe at that instance, she might have just decided to bring her phone, trend with it. The point here is, thank you for bringing her the video. But with that kind of scenario, where your life is almost in danger, you're still trying to film what's happening. What if what if anything had happened to her? The policeman was already struggling to save his own life. The driver didn't even want to care anything. Let me just take them to anywhere. Who knows whether the driver wanted to even drive them into a pit or whatever and all that. And the driver even didn't do well to an extent. The policeman entered the vehicle, stopped, talk it over. Of course, the driver we've not heard from the driver. We've not heard what really happened and all that, whether the policeman was also trying to kill him and then he was trying to save his life. So a lot of things.
You see the driver coming out. He's been asked to come out to help the investigation.
Yeah, it's important. He has to say his own part of the story.
I know it's important for him to come out, but do you see that happening? Remember that it has been stated that he was wrong. So if the police officers or the police has said he was wrong, do you see him coming out despite
if they've gotten the policeman, they will get the driver. You can't hide away when it's now a public issue. How do you hide from it? In fact, wherever he is, his mind is even skipping. He won't feel comfortable. He can't even drink water. If you see any policeman passing, he won't be comfortable because he has committed some. In fact, we need to hear his own part of the story. And it will be unfortunate if it happens that the policeman was just asking you something, he jumped into the vehicle and then you zoomed off. That's also a lesson to the police. You don't just jump into somebody's vehicle. Be professional in this issue. You don't just jump into, you see a vehicle, you're trying to ask somebody, and you jump into it and all that. What are you jumping in? What are you jumping into somebody's vehicle and all that? And it's not even like he did. I don't know. Maybe the policeman will also have to tell whether he was suspecting the man, he was carrying arm, or whatever.
Yes.
Now, if he was also carrying arm or he was carrying bomb, you jumped into the vehicle. So is that not very risky? I don't know. Maybe he was trying to be professional in his duty, and we give it to him.
You know, we've had cases like this several times. The video you made reference to when you said the viral video of you carry me, they go where I don't know.
Yes.
It was this kind of scenario where that was a policewoman. She entered into the vehicle and they moved.
And they had to scream.
It's not even supposed to be funny. She was screaming for help. That was where I guess someone at the passenger seat did that video, and then it became viral. So we've had cases like this. We've also had cases of assault by police officers to citizens. You know, the keke driver video that was viral. We had reports on that yesterday. And we've also had cases of assault by citizens against the police officers. What do you think can be done to can we even completely put this to an end? How can we completely put this to an end?
I condemn any assault. Just the police, the army, whatever. Any assault on them is an assault to the democracy we are having in this country. It's not caught into, you see all these, sometimes where it's not just because something is wrong. It's because you want to collect money. Over what? And then the man is trying to run away. Probably sometimes it's even 100 naira. Sometimes stories like that, we've seen stories like that in this country. And then you're jumping into the vehicle because the person refuses to do that. In all of this jumping, have there been any scenario where you're jumping in because you saw armed or somebody was being kidnapped, you jumped in? We've not even seen story as this person was being kidnapped, I was trying to rescue, so they tried to also kidnap me. Is either the story of he was trying to collect money from me, I didn't have, I was running for my dear life. And so the police have to be careful. I think the police hierarchy have to do something about this and have to also caution some police officers who, whatever it is, you're jumping into a vehicle. Why some persons are struggling, some officers are struggling in the bush trying to rescue kidnapped victims, some officers are struggling in the bush trying to protect this country, and then one police officer is just on the road struggling with one vehicle to collect money and all that. It's uncalled for in this country. No, we have to put this to a stop.
I want us to also look at the angle that I mentioned earlier, and you also made an example from that angle, the fact that people see an accident, that's a scenario now, and they bring out their phones and start videoing. We saw a video like that sometime this.
One thing also we must consider, what's the location of this whole incident? Did it happen maybe in a very rowdy place?
No, yeah. On the highway.
Go on the highway. Everybody could just be running for their life. Who knows if an armed robber with gun is trying to kill somebody and another Nigerian will just run away. He's not armed. That's very important. The location of it will also determine the response people will get from people. So on a highway, lonely road, she couldn't even think of calling maybe an emergency line, police response team. She couldn't think of it. Probably when
some Nigerians don't trust. Some Nigerians have gotten to that level where they don't really trust calling response teams.
So how for me, how was she even trying to save her life? It's not even like she was live. I'm live. Let people
we don't know. We don't know about that.
Okay, whatever it is, but one attitude about Nigerians is, if I did for one reason or the other, that's one thing that I've made people to start filming maybe an accident scenario instead of saving people. You want to make money out of it. It has become
content
something
creation
we need
everywhere. In the quest by the Nigerian government to secure durable peace and safe haven for the citizenry, the National Coordinator, National Counter-Terrorism Center, Office of the National Security Advisor, Major General Adamu Garba Laka, has emphasized on the need for unwavering dedication and collective action of all in the fight against terrorism and organized crimes. General Laka made this known in Abuja at the opening ceremony of a two-day workshop and plenary meeting of the Global Counter-Terrorism Forum Criminal Justice and Rule of Law Working Group under its co-chairs Nigeria and Italy, with the theme Good Practices for the Protection of Witnesses and Criminal Justice Officials. He called on countries under the umbrella of the Global Counter-Terrorism for security and peace. And he reiterated the imperative for the protection of witnesses and criminal justice officials who play pivotal roles in the investigation, prosecution, and adjudication of terrorism-related cases. We've seen cases where criminal cases being carried out, and then we've heard people, maybe family members or maybe journalists or friends reaching out and saying, take your hands off that case. I remember judges, people telling them their lives are in danger because of certain cases that they are, carried out, that's on in court. And also whistleblowers, protection, and all of that. So that's what this story is referring to. So let's get your thoughts on that.
The scenario you gave is different from whistleblower, if you ask me. Okay. Because calling a judge or trying to interfere in a matter, probably because you have one of us as a nation, and it ought not to be so. It ought not to be so. What that means is that if I don't have such power, or I don't have anybody at the top who can now influence my own case. So you find out a situation where the less privileged continues to suffer, even over something that should have just been settled. Maybe you have a court case, probably because I don't have a good lawyer or I don't have somebody to influence it for me. You see them going to prison. Then why the rich or those who we refer to as VIP, even if it's not supposed to be so, see them trying to influence a matter and all that. Even another trying to do is what kind of, these things are not supposed to, in fact, it's not obtainable in a democratic setting. It's not. I'll let everybody do their work. If you're guilty, you're guilty. If you're not guilty, in fact, there are also situations where they don't even influence by phone calls. They try to, you see people trying to pay bribe, influence whosoever that is holding the matter, trying to influence them with huge amount of money. That's where corruption comes in. So, but the case of whistleblower is, I'm seeing a situation here. I'm calling for the attention of the government or any agency that is involved to come and tackle this situation.
Which is what that means. You didn't get what I said earlier. I mentioned different sets of people who the society feels are at risk when criminal cases are involved. The person who calls and says, oh, this is what I saw, right? Okay. The journalist and the judge act accordingly to end terrorism. So it's a joint effort, yes. Right? We all need to come together, put hands together, speak when you see something, and speak to the rightful authorities when you see something. It's one thing to speak, and it's one thing to speak to the right person.
Yeah, that's true. But that's why we have emergency numbers littered all about. But again, it's also going to be discouraging if you're making use of the emergency numbers and they are not taking your course. In fact, I saw one incident recently in Port Harcourt, around the Romola area. I just saw some group of persons under the flyover doing one or two another. And I was like, what's happening? Flyover. And everybody was just minding their business. So before you kill somebody, I have to now, I said, okay, let me try this emergency number. Because everybody everybody needs to have that number. Okay. Trying to put the call immediately, there was a response. So if it's as easy, if the security agents are doing such to that extent, if they have been that proactive, there is need for the public to make use of the emergency number. If you see what you don't like, if you see a situation, you are suspecting something, call the police. That's why they are there. But if they don't respond, it's now a case for another.
Find out that either according to their stories, maybe nobody picked, or they tell you, oh, there's no field to come out, you have to do this, so when we've had cases of people who called and there was actually a response, we should have that portrayed also. We should let the society also know that this country around. And George said this during his address to the nation titled My Thoughts on the State of the Country in the Last 25 Years, a time to chart a new direction in Lagos. And according to him, Nigeria is often referred to as the giant of Africa, but the country has not lived up to the description since the return of democracy in 1999, that 25 years after the military returned to the barracks, the country could not be said to have fared well. The PDP chieftain said that Nigeria could only regain its rightful place in the Committee of Nations through the collective determination of both the leaders and the followers. He said that successive leaders have failed to grapple with the challenges of the nation building, adding that the country was currently facing an existential crisis.
So there is need. That's why I accept that call by Bode George. I agree. In fact, if it involve changing the economic team, probably are giving the president the wrong advice.
To change it.
Good. We have to now know where the problem is coming from. As Nigerians, we have to start shouting. Probably those persons who are advising wrongly for their personal aggrandizement. So there is need for Nigerians to know that this is the problem. Then we start shouting if you will hear us. If you will hear us. By the grace of God, Atlantic Television Network is a national television. So we need to also shout through this channel. You might not even know who is watching. So, who saw all the challenges and said he wanted to run, he wanted to contest, is his turn. I accept. With his antecedents in Lagos, the way he transformed Lagos, so many persons came and supported the president. In fact, we saw it like within the next 3 months, things have to change. But if we're not
from going bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of Nigerians believe, or some Nigerians believe, that after a while, we'll get to find out the decisions that were taken. So are you one of those Nigerians? What do you believe?
By the grace of God, I'm an economist. And in your radio station, the economy, and I was trying to explain something about this, the question you just raised. And I think I have to also buttress it here. The issue of long run, we're going to see the dividends of it. Foundation are we hoping on? What a state where the Television Network. I said, this is it. The president has rushing into the market.
So you think Nigerians are going for, are importing more because the local goods are expensive?
They're expensive. They're expensive. And why they are
importing, is it not also expensive?
It's expensive when they import, because the exchange rate is higher, cheaper. But because of transportation, what's our transportation system? Are they dealing with it? The health sector, have they gone into the health sectors? Can we comfortably treat malaria in Nigeria? So if all these are not in place, why do you think there shouldn't be a change in the economic thing? Why do you think the president should not tell us what is going on?
Would it have been possible to put all of these things in place in 1 year?
In 1 year, have you laid the foundation?
But you mentioned the president stating it. It means that steps were taken.
That's why I said he should go beyond stating it.
So, back to the question now, can all of these things be in place in 1 year?
It may not, or may not. And you will see everything changing without even policy. With the policies we have on ground, allow the economy to become competitive in nature. I think this is where the economic team should be advising the president. Except that then the president should come and tell us, are they telling you this and you're not taking it? But the judge is saying. Then the other party is saying that I don't even like. He said we should not blame this administration.
He said the problems did not start today.
Was he not the same body judge who said, I quote, around March 2022, he said if this president is more pressure from the outside, that will make the incumbent government sit down.
No, you talked about the labor, and you said you don't understand.
Why I don't understand? I don't understand why they are not talking. They are not.
About
they say they are fighting.
Because last we checked, Labour are still on talks with the federal
no,
government. They say they are not talking.
No,
recently,
we in fact, even right now, we seem to be confusing the NLC and then the Labour Party. And probably because they are focusing more on politics.
So when you said Labour, you were referring to?
The Labour, yeah, I was referring to Labour Party. And then ordinarily, the Labour Party, which means, could it be that the essence of political party is now beginning to weaken the pressure from NLC? That's right now.
Price per litre of household kerosene has increased by 24.04% in April 2024, reaching 1,439 naira against 1,160 naira it sold in April 2023. The month-on-month price difference was 6.29% above the price of 1,354 naira recorded in March this year. Bauchi recorded the highest average price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder of cooking gas at 7,000 naira, followed by Kano with 6,998 naira and Yobe at 6,962 naira, while Adama recorded the lowest price at 5,470 naira, followed by Enugu and Katsina respectively. Adama recorded the lowest price. I feel like going to fill my gas there. Well, for kerosene, the highest average price per litre was recorded in Benue with 1,788, followed by Kaduna with 1,761 and Plateau with 1,770 naira. On the other hand, the lowest price was recorded in Katsina with 1,202 naira with 1,252 naira. Cooking gas price skyrocketing. What are your thoughts?
The situation in this country is becoming, I think it calls for more concern. If we were showing concern, it calls for more concern. Cooking gas. This gas recently, it was 1.4. And then, let me say I don't want to use gas, and I don't want to go down to kerosene. It's 1,000 plus again. Oh, where are we going to? They are trying to make it difficult for you to also cook it. The channel at which, anyhow you want to cook, you use gas or kerosene and all that, is also very high to cook.
And then electricity on the other hand.
Then the electricity, they are talking about tariff rise. And you tell me the pressure group like NLC, who are being mostly affected, should not, in fact, he might not be feeling it. Those in public offices might not be feeling it. They get big amount of salary. Not about that. They also have something like, what's it called? Health-wise, food and all that. If you see them eating and all that, you know. Then how about the people you're leading? How do people even survive in this country? How do they pay hospital bills? How do they feed? So a lot have to be done in this country before it degenerates more than this. The economy is bad. The truth is that with this, it means a national problem, the economy.
Seen it drop. All right. It started, the rise in cooking gas. I remember we were talking about it even before this administration came into power. There had been a rise, there was a rise in cooking gas at that time, and it never dropped, and it just kept going up. Right? We've also seen that with fuel price, it keeps going up. And now kerosene, even to see kerosene sometimes it's not so easy for you to find them. Some fuel stations will tell you they don't sell. You go to fuel stations, you might not even find them. So now we have this problem of cooking gas price rising. What can be done? What are Nigerians expecting the president to do? You've told the president to rise up and be the Messiah. What are we expecting? What steps are we expecting?
The cost of kerosene is even now more higher than that of fuel. But the question, to answer your question, I will now come up with a question. What is even
government to government? So it's not even a problem.
It's not, yes.
The administration.
It's not a problem of this particular administration. In fact, the last time under the president Muhammadu Buhari, he took the Minister of Petroleum, them silver. He said, right now we're giving you within 3 months it's going to be fixed. What happened? Before President Muhammadu Buhari, that of the President Jonathan, they also took it head on. So we're giving you ultimatum, we're going to fix it. What's happening? In fact, at that time, it was even working. That of the Warri refinery was even working at 20%. How did we even lose it? So where are we even getting our gas? The unfortunate thing is that one of the reasons why you even see the gas come on, like it happened with that of the kerosene. You know, kerosene at the time in this region, we started getting it from that of the coal fire. That's why you see some color of kerosene and all that. And then it began destroying houses and all that. And it was, where do we get our gas? Do we have the system? Do we have what it takes to produce the gas in such a way that it will not become cheaper? You don't monopolize a product. You don't make it look like we are solely dependent on one particular. Okay, we've been dependent on the government's refineries. What happened? How did it turn up? We even have 4. Where are they? 3, 4, where are they? Not even one is working. And then you want to make it look like, let's say they are not monopolizing, but from what you are saying, it looks like you're giving that power to one entrepreneur, one business person, a private firm. And they want to depend on that. You think the private firm will not just be fixing the price? Give license to others. Encourage others. If we as a government cannot run this business, give it to different persons and you see things begin to change.
All right, we hope we'll have another time to extensively discuss that. Now let's move on to electricity. Consumers in the Southeast region under the aegis of the Southeast Electricity Consumers Association have threatened to embark on a 1-month warning strike if electricity distribution companies fail to provide prepaid meters to all their consumers in the zone. They have therefore set June 15, 2024 for the commencement of the strike if their demand is not met. As they stated, their concerns about the distribution company's practice of issuing high and outrageous estimated bills. The group made this decision at the SICA Consultative Assembly SCA Summit held in Enugu, expressing frustration over both epileptic power supply and estimated billing. Also speaking, SICA Chairman Enugu State Chapter, Mrs. Dorothy Oleka, said the electricity distribution companies do not have the power to disconnect their customers without giving at least 10 days notice and another 2 days or 2 working days before disconnection will take place. The Oleka, a lawyer, added that even after disconnecting a customer, the discos do not have right to take away the wires and cables they disconnected, adding, however, that the disconnected customers should not reconnect illegally when disconnected. A lot of Nigerians will not know this, that they don't have the right to take away the wires or to disconnect without prior notice. You know, 7 days and then 2 working days. Let's get your thoughts on this story.
You don't know how, unfortunately, they didn't quote any law backing their claim. Because the PhD or whatever, the disco officers will also come and quote law. They will tell you after 2 times disconnection, the 3rd one you should go home with the wire. And again, that's also private company. And if it's a private company, they have the right to do any means as they will get their money. They will have to do it. That's what's going on, and that's part of the Nigerian problem. And the government, the previous government, did that in such a way that let's privatize this sector so that to help it become competitive. Is it competitive?
The Nigerians called for that. Some Nigerians called for it.
Is it working?
They have said that some of the companies that the government, just like the refineries you've mentioned now,
okay,
people always made reference to the refineries. Oh, let us privatize this sector. And now you're saying that
they did. I think what the plan then was, don't give it to one company. Let's give it to different companies. The one that will be running, let's say in Port Harcourt, different, I think they call it district or band. Different persons, this company will take charge of this company will take charge. You can't collect the same, you're in business, you're not.
You're owing us over 100. Sometimes these bills are outrageous and they are ridiculous. So when you look at it, you ask yourself, what do I have inside the house? So it calls for actions to actually be taken. And that's why these guys are saying, we're not going to pay you if you don't heed to our cry.
Personally, I don't even like that estimated billing. But again, I'm still thinking, consumers want to go on strike. How do they want to achieve this? Is it that we don't want to use this line again? Keep your light. We don't want it. We want to start. Things will change. You remember what happened with the Lagos protest and all that? Even if it was tagged illegal, whether it was nice or not, I don't want to go into that. That's even not my... The point I'm trying to make is that the power is resident in the masses. But these same masses have lost their voices. Or let me say, have lost their voice. Because when you say voice, it means they're in oneness. But in this case, we've left let me not use destiny. We left it with the NLC. What's the NLC doing? Meter.
Saying what is the NLC doing? Last I checked, this is one of the items in their demand. That's the electricity hike now. It's one of the items in
it has been
demand.
demanded.
So when we talk about electricity and say what is the NLC?
The time we saw in national television's flash, the government is saying 100,000. All of a sudden, I hope they talk.
In fact, that's what you call it. If you pay for something, you're buying it, right?
Yeah.
So they're buying this money, and then